Hi, and welcome back to Craft Along with Jay. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Yara, and I am so happy you could join me today. Today's video is part of the 12 Days of Christmas collaborations, and it's day 4, which is Sweet Treats Day. The hosts are Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY and Jackie from Crafting in Mimi's World. And don't forget to check out the playlist out in my description box when you're done with this video. Now let's get to it. I got these wood wood rounds from the Dollar Tree. It comes um, in a wall hanging format with 3 in each. I'm starting out with 2, but I end up using all 4. But you'll see me working with 2 of them. And here I'm just going to remove the jute twine and the beads from the back. And normally I can pull them right off, but this one was giving me a bit of a hard time. And I had to use my needle nose pliers to get the staples off from the back. But once you got it done, I'm peeling off as much of the paper that I can from both of them. And one was easy and one was a little bit tough to get off, but I'm spritzing it with some water and I'm going to let it sit for several minutes. And then I'm just going in with my paint scraper here and um, just kind of scraping it all off. But with the one that still has a lot of the paper on, I do have to spritz it twice, getting most of it off and then spritz it again just because it's a bit rough to get off, and there was a bit more to get off as well. But yeah, normally this is a very good method to get off that stubborn paper. And here I'm just scraping some of the residue off, the leftover glue residue, because you want to get a smooth surface to work with here. So I'm just scraping away. And once that's all done, I'm going to paint them both with Apple Barrel's Khaki. So you probably already know we're going to make some cookies since it's a sweet treat day. So this is kind of the closest that of the paints that I have that I can get to like a cookie, a sugar cookie, or probably leaning more towards a gingerbread cookie, maybe. We can make it whatever we want to do. But I'm giving the top and the bottom and the sides 2 coats each. And then I'm taking some of this spackling. I believe I got this from Walmart. I love this spackling. It's so easy to work with and it's so nice and soft. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of Waverly's chalk paint in the color Plaster. Just a little bit, and then I'll mix it up. And I'm just using a little plastic knife here, getting all the excess spackling inside my little cup, and then mix it really well. It would be a bit easier if I had a little bit of a deeper bowl or cup here, but this is kind of what I had within reach, so that's kind of what I'm working with. But yeah, give it a really good mix. And then we're gonna spread it onto our cookie, so it's like a little coat of icing we're putting on top. And like I said, I'm making 2 more. I ended up just starting with 2, but I changed my mind and then I made 4. But I'm making the other 2 off camera, and the icing has a different color. But you'll see that in the finished viewing at the end. But it turned out really cute. I like them. So yeah, give them both a good coat. And while they're still wet, before it hardens, I'm gonna add some sprinkles. And I got these off of Amazon last year, the year before. And yeah, I'm just gonna sprinkle those onto my cookies. And then I sprinkle them on and I press them down very lightly, just so when the spackling hardens, the sprinkles are not falling off. It's kind of hardening with the spackling. So, but just very gently. You don't want it like pressed all the way down until you can't see it. So, yep. So I just put on as much as I want to put on there till I'm happy. And then, yeah, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a close up, and that's what my cookie looks like. Got little snowflakes and stuff in there. And then I got this tray from the Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna give it a good sanding so it's less smooth, a little bit more rough. Makes the paint adhere easier and not flaking off. So I'm just gonna scuff it up a bit here. And then once that's done, I'm gonna give it a coat of Waverly's chalk paint and plaster. The first, well, I'm using a brush here, but I'm changing that real quick because I don't feel like it's going on well. So I'm using a sponge brush, and I'm going to give it one coat with this brush, and then I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to give it a second coat with a sponge dabber just to give it a smoother look, no streaks or anything like that. So then I'll dab it on the second coat. But make sure it dries in between, otherwise you're just taking the paint right off. So yeah, once this is done, we'll put it aside to dry. And the second coat I'm doing off camera, but you can see it now how smooth it looks. It looks really good. Then I got this napkin with some Christmas trees on it, and I'm just gonna, with a brush, dip it in a little bit of water and then go around my tree. This makes it easier to kind of rip around the tree, so you don't have like a clean cut thing, and you can kind of smooth that into your tray. Looking better, I guess. Ooh, my goodness, I'm sorry. And then I'm going to very gently just kind of pull around the tree without ripping into the tree. Because we're just going to use the Christmas trees for this tray. So just very gently. And then once I got them both, I already put a little bit of Mod Podge into the bottom of the tray. And I'm gonna lay down the first tree and I'm just very gently smoothing it out. You know, the napkin is very fragile and would rip very easily. So I'm just very gently smoothing it out with my finger. And then I'll use a little bit of Mod Podge just to very lightly go over it just to seal it in. And I do the same thing with the bottom one. And then it kind of dried a little bit on me on the bottom, so I had to add a little bit more. And I had a little excess napkin there that was kind of in my way, and I just kind of gently ripped that off. But that's what my tray looks like. And yeah, this is the final view of all of them. We're gonna put it all together. I think it looks absolutely adorable. And yeah, my extra cookies, I made a red icing one and a green icing one. And I think they turned out super cute. Let me know what you think. They almost look good enough to eat. Anyway, I'm so thankful that you made it all the way to the end with me of this video. I appreciate it very much. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. See you tomorrow.